So thank you so much, Meredith, for joining us today on our interview for the TRC, which we're going to get into and we're going to hear much more about. But I would just like to ask you a little bit first. Do you mind giving us a little background on yourself?
Sure. My name is Meredith Oshman, and I am the clinical coordinator for the TRC, which I'll tell you more about in a little bit. I have been at Care Plus for about 12 and a half years now, off and on, but always stayed per diem. And I am a licensed professional counselor, an LPC, and I have my master's in counseling, and I've been an LPC for probably about 4 years at this point in time.
That's awesome. Thanks so much for giving us that background. So
No problem.
Both now mentioned TRC, so people might be thinking like, what is that? So what does the TRC stand for and what do you guys do?
Sure. So the TRC stands for Trauma Recovery Center, and it's a new program at Care Plus. And our team provides comprehensive mental health care to individuals, youth, and adults who are survivors of violent crimes. And when I say violent crimes, it could be anything from domestic violence to sexual assault to gang violence to human trafficking, or even family members of somebody who died by homicide.
Okay, thank you for sharing that, because I think sometimes people might wonder like what kind of crime would qualify them to maybe be a part of the program. So yeah. I'm wondering, how did this service or this idea of the TRC come about? And is it only in New Jersey, or are there other states that have something similar?
Yeah, so it started in San Francisco by Dr. Alicia Bachelari and Stacy Wiggle, I believe is how you say her last name. And they started it in 2001 because they really saw a need to reach people who have experienced a violent crime. And all the research shows that those individuals really don't get the services that they need. So they started this program in San Francisco. And over the last 18, 19 years, they have expanded across the country. So I believe there are 35 trauma recovery centers at this point in time in multiple different states, including Illinois and Ohio. There's multiple in California. So it's rapidly expanding, and hopefully it will continue to do so.
Wow, that's so impressive. I know that, as you're mentioning, this started in California, but just to hear that it's been able to be expanded to so many states, I think is really impressive and shows that this work is really needed. So I'm happy to hear that. So my understanding is that this program is grant funded, and sometimes people have questions about what does that mean? Does that mean you accept insurance? I have to pay for it. So could you break that down for us?
Absolutely. So we are grant funded, and we are funded by the Office of the Attorney General of the state of New Jersey. And so what that means for families is that we do not go through insurance. There is no cost associated with this program, so you will never have to pay a thing to get our services. And that is really important because a lot of people don't seek services, for multiple reasons. Maybe they have health insurance, but there's a high deductible or copay. They don't have health insurance. So we don't have to worry about any of that, including immigration status.
Oh my gosh, that's phenomenal and so necessary, right? For the multitude of reasons, whether it's not having coverage, the level of coverage you have, all of those things can be barriers. So that's really fantastic to hear that it's available.
Yeah.
What type of services would people expect to receive through this program?
Yeah, so we, as I said earlier, we provide comprehensive mental health care services. And what that means is that you don't just get psychotherapy when you come to us. So we provide individual and group psychotherapy, which is your traditional talk therapy. We provide psychiatric services and medication management if necessary. We provide case management and outreach services. We help link to any medical care. We help with legal and financial assistance and advocacy. Basically, any anything that the individual or family needs to help feel stable and secure and safe in their position, so that ultimately they can start to really to process the trauma that they experienced and be able to get on with their lives.
That's incredible. I mean, based on everything you're describing, it's like truly wrap around, because it's not just maybe the therapy component, it's all of the components coming together.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I imagine that can be another barrier to service within survivors of crimes, perhaps maybe feeling re-victimized by coming forward with certain things. So the fact that you're able to assist throughout the legal process too, I think is really outstanding.
Absolutely. And, you know, we meet the clients where they're at, and whatever they tell us that they need, the support that they need is what we're able to give them. So it's a really great program.
Right. And really individualized then too, I guess, right? Because it kind of depends on what their needs are.
Yep. It's tailored to each individual's need. And the other great thing about this program that I didn't mention was that it's actually one person that you're going to be working with the whole time. And they're called clinical case managers. We do have a multidisciplinary team, which means that we have social workers and counselors and psychologists and a psychiatrist as well. But mainly you're going to be working with one person who's going to help meet all those needs with you.
Oh my gosh, that's so fantastic. What are your, I guess, your hopes for this grant? And I know sometimes in the grant world, there are kind of like certain outcomes you have to hit. Do you have anything like that for the program?
So, you know, this program really started to help meet the needs of underserved populations. And I really hope for this program that that's something we're able to do. You know, because not only are survivors underserved, but there's many underserved communities within Bergen County. So, you know, my hope is really to get this comprehensive treatment to them so that they have access to it and are able to utilize it to its full potential.
Oh, that's outstanding. So Bergen County obviously is like the target area, right, that you're trying to work with. Is there availability for people outside from other counties to work with you, or no?
So at this point in time, we're just focused on Bergen County. In the future, we could expand, but there are also several other TRCs in New Jersey, in Hudson and Essex County.
Wow, that's awesome. So hopefully we'll continue to expand, you know, throughout the state too, right?
Yes, absolutely.
How can people access your services specifically? Because, you know, we're talking about Bergen County here. So how can they access these services?
Yeah, so there's a couple different ways. They can call the Care Plus admissions or open access phone number directly and request these services, or they can contact me directly, and then I can help get them linked up.
Oh, that's fantastic. Okay. And I'll put, you know, some information when we post this video. So down at the bottom of the video, you should be able to see the admissions contact number and different ways to get in touch with this program. So the last question I have, you know, when Maggie and I started this YouTube channel, we kind of wanted to have a question that we're going to ask everyone that we interview. And obviously this YouTube channel is to highlight different trauma services of Care Plus, but also just, you know, within Bergen County, within the state, different things, different offerings. So the question that we came up with, and you're our inaugural guest, so this will be exciting. In your opinion, what allows someone to overcome or to start to heal from their trauma history?
That's a really great question, and I'm interested to hear, you know, what other answers that you get for this. So, you know, I think that my belief is that anybody has the ability to overcome a trauma history, and what's really needed is a good support system. So not only am I talking about family and friends, but supports beyond that. So the mental health treatment is really crucial to people who've experienced a trauma. You know, even if you don't feel right away that it's affecting you, at some point in your life it might. So it's more beneficial to be able to talk to a professional in addition to having your friends and family there as well to support you.
Yeah.
So I really think that that's the key.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. You know, supports and just kind of knowing how to access things when you're ready
Yeah,
for it, right? That's fantastic.
absolutely.
Well, Meredith, thanks for joining us. You know, hopefully we can have you back at some point to hear more about what the Trauma Recovery Center in Bergen County is doing and how your program's unfolding. Best of luck to you guys as you're starting off and you just open your doors.
Yes, thank you so much. And I look forward to having another interview with you in the future.
Awesome. And just a reminder to everyone, please, you know, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that way you're aware of when new videos come out. We do have an upcoming interview with a clinician who's both in a school and also in a private practice. So that will be a great conversation to have in October for, you know, anti-bullying month. But thanks, Meredith, for joining us.
Yeah, no problem.